afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this very hot Wednesday afternoon. It's oppressive out there.
I hope everyone is taking good care and staying cool. Looks like today will be the worst of it. We'll get an update on the weather in just a little bit.
But first, here's what's making news today. A 17-year-old has been arrested for killing 2 people during protests last night in Kenosha. We'll share an update.
We're also asking UW students their thoughts on the protests just days after many moved back to the city.
And Hurricane Laura has become a Category 4 storm. We'll have an update from the Gulf Coast. 3 days in a row now, we have big news to bring you out of Kenosha. We have team coverage on the protest over Jacob Blake's shooting.
New this afternoon, a 17-year-old from Illinois is in custody facing first-degree homicide charges for killing 2 protesters and seriously injuring another last night. Our Eric Franke is in the studio with the latest on that investigation, as well as the state's investigation into Sunday's shooting that sparked the protests.
And our Gabriela Becerra shares how university students are reacting to the protests rolling right past their homes. But let's start with Eric Franke. Eric?
Well, Mark and Susan, authorities say the investigation into the shooting of Jacob Blake on Sunday continues. Now, the disturbing images last night where 3 protesters were shot, 2 of them fatally, resulted in a fugitive from justice, the alleged shooter being tracked down just south of Kenosha in Lake County, Illinois. Cell phone video appeared all over social media. What appeared to be a white man being chased and then opening fire with a rifle on a group of people demonstrating. He then would walk past officers with his hands up, but past them out into the night. 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, described by CBS News as a police admirer of Antioch, Illinois, was taken into custody this morning on a warrant from Kenosha County. He is being held on no bond. He faces charges of first-degree intentional homicide.
2 people are dead. This is not a police action. This is not the action, I believe, of those who set out to do protests. It is the persons who were involved after the legal time, involved in illegal activity that brought violence to this community.
2 Kenosha County residents, aged 26 and 36, were killed. The White House has now authorized sending up to 2,000 National Guard members from neighboring states into Kenosha. Curfew, which has been 8 p.m. the past few nights in Kenosha, is now bumped up an hour earlier in Kenosha to 7 p.m. City officials say that's to get a better grasp on things before night falls. Mark and Susan.
Eric, thank you. Wisconsin's Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin is reacting to the events in Kenosha. In a statement today, she wrote, "The vandalism, armed militia, gun violence, and fatal shootings in Kenosha are not advancing the cause of racial justice in the wake of the police shooting of Jacob Blake. I support Governor Evers' approach to providing more National Guard support for local law enforcement." The state's Republican Senator Ron Johnson is calling for what he calls riots to stop. In a statement, he said, "Unfortunately, Kenosha and Madison experienced another night of violence and destruction. I again ask for demonstrators to remain peaceful."
More breaking news related to the events in Kenosha. In response to Sunday night's shooting, the Milwaukee Bucks have boycotted Game 5 of their playoff series against the Orlando Magic.
News 3 Now sports director Zach Hanley joins us now with the latest on that. Zach.
And this is one of the biggest moments in sports history if you think about it. Game 5, a playoff game, didn't happen because the Bucks decided they were going to stand together and use their platform for change. The boycott is in protest over the shooting of Jacob Blake, which happened in their backyard. And if you remember, the Bucks were the first team to lead a protest following the killing of George Floyd. The fight for social justice has been on the minds of this team since they stepped foot in the bubble.
There's a lot of concern. There's a lot of conversation. Right. There's a lot of frustration. But I also think our players want to find a way to fight for better.
We're down here playing the bubble to do these things for social justice and all that. And to see it still going on, and we're just playing the games like it's nothing. It's just a really messed up situation.
They say actions speak louder than words. The Bucks are being the change. CNN is reporting the rest of today's NBA playoff games have been canceled.
Zach, thank you. Madison Metropolitan School District's new superintendent says violence by police against Black Americans resembles modern-day lynchings. In a statement, Carlton Jenkins wrote, "I don't want to have the same conversation about safety with my African-American grandson that my mother had with me." Jenkins is asking the community to advocate for human decency. Jenkins joined other city leaders, including Boys and Girls Club CEO CEO Michael Johnson and former Madison Mayor Paul Soglin last night to help keep the protests peaceful. Students in Madison are getting a dose of current events and history a week before classes resume at the UW.
The downtown campus has been a popular spot for Black Lives Matter marches. Our Gabriela Becerra talked to students today about what they've seen, heard, and felt. Gabby?
Mark and Susan, students are everywhere this week, and when they're not busy unpacking boxes, some say they've been checking out the protests that sometimes stream right past their homes. Now, protesters have been marching down Langdon the past couple of nights, sometimes encouraging people to come out and join them. Some students have, but the ones I talked to say they stay away from the people causing damage. One junior, Carissa Schumacher, appreciates living in a place where she gets to see a movement with her own eyes.
I think that there's probably no better place for a movement like this than in Madison because, like, students are where the heart is, I think.
A university spokesperson says the events, they know how close the events are to campus, and the UW Police Department is working closely with the city to keep people safe. And UW-Madison also offers many resources, including apps and a downtown liaison officer who are there to help keep students aware of what's going on. We'll have a full list of those resources on our website, channel3000.com.
All right, Gabby, reporting from downtown, or from the UW campus. Thank you. We will continue to follow developments throughout the rest of the evening and tonight on News 3 Now at 10. Be sure to also follow developments on channel3000.com. Let's take a live look now at Galveston Beach in Texas, where Hurricane Laura is rapidly intensifying as it heads straight for the Gulf Coast. The storm is set to make landfall early tomorrow morning.
This could be the strongest hurricane to hit the Gulf Coast in 15 years. Laura is now a Category 4 storm and barreling toward the Texas-Louisiana coast. More than 500,000 people have been ordered to evacuate. The National Hurricane Center is warning of life-threatening storm surge in some areas and winds over 100 miles per hour.
With a wind event, you're going to lose electricity. The possibility of your roof flying off your house, yeah. It could be catastrophic.
This one's is scarier, knowing that it's supposed to be stronger and still unpredictable. It's just scary to leave your stuff behind.
It's a threat that's complicated now by the coronavirus, responsible for nearly 12,000 deaths across Texas. The storm is already responsible for more than a dozen deaths in Haiti and the Dominican Republic.
Let's take a look outside here in southern Wisconsin on this afternoon. Just kind of hot and humid, and the chances for rain is on the rise. Chris Reese is at the backyard weather patio. A little warm out there.
Yeah, it is warm, but do you hear the sprinkler behind me? Perhaps we'll finally get water falling out of the skies, and a lot of it for folks as we move into the weekend. We're going to be watching those rain chances closely. Of course, there's no rain falling right now. We are really focused on just how warm things have been across the state. Currently sitting at 89. Here in Madison, winds are out of the south and west at 11 miles per hour. Dew points in the mid-60s mean it is certainly going to feel humid out there. 93 in Janesville, Boscobel and La Crosse coming in at 97. Mineral Point at 86. It is a true summer-like afternoon out there with dew points into the upper 60s and low 70s. It is the true definition of the air you can wear as you step outside going through the rest of this afternoon. Heat indices are well into the 90s for most folks, but it's closer to 100 as you work your way back towards the west. We still have heat advisories for areas west of Lone Rock going until 7 o'clock tonight. But as we look ahead, it's another calm night. We're staying warm, though. 89 by 6 o'clock. We're going back down to 84 by 8. And even by 10 o'clock, we're still going to be seeing those temperatures into the 80s before we cool down with our overnight lows into the 70s tonight. Traffic-wise, things are still good for us. That's good news. We're going to keep an eye on traffic as we go throughout the show. But closer to 4:30, we're timing out those rain chances that we could see towards the weekend. It's possible some areas could see more than an inch of rain. We'll explain who coming up later in the show.
All right, Chris, thank you. Switching to the latest coronavirus headlines now, nearly 700 more people in Wisconsin have tested positive for the virus since yesterday. That is the biggest increase in daily cases since late last week. The state surpassed 1,100 deaths last night. That brings the death toll to 1,006.
Some hopeful news in the fight against the coronavirus. The number of reported new cases is falling, down to an average of 43,000 per day. Miami-Dade Mayor Carlos Jimenez announced that restaurants in his county could resume indoor dining with limits starting next Monday. Florida is one of at least 25 states where the average daily increase in new coronavirus cases is declining. And nationally, cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are also trending down. Some experts attribute the declines to changes in behavior, like wider adoption of mask wearing, but they also say there's a long way to go.
We're still generating 30, 40,000 new cases per day. Hundreds of people are still dying every day. That's a very high level. It's much worse than when we opened up at the end of May.
Parties like this one at Arizona State University have university officials cracking down. 228 students were suspended at Ohio State University for violating school health guidelines, and 2 fraternities at Florida Gulf Coast University were suspended for holding parties over the weekend. That school's president is threatening to send all students home if the parties don't stop.
Wisconsin will be in the spotlight during the Republican National Convention tonight. The headliner, Vice President Mike Pence, will likely talk about what's happening in Kenosha.
The theme of the third night of the Republican National Convention is Land of Heroes. Madeline O'Neill is here with a preview. Maddie?
Well, Trump campaign leaders say the night will focus on military and law enforcement. Pence will talk about the economy and foreign policy, but also make special mention of Jacob Blake's shooting and the protests that have followed here in Wisconsin. Tonight's event is expected to be a mix of pre-taped speeches, pre-cut videos, and live broadcasts like last night. One of the more controversial messages came from Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. He spoke from Jerusalem during an official diplomatic trip. While policy bans diplomats from engaging in political activity, Pompeo says the remarks were made in his personal capacity. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows addressed that to Politico this morning.
Nobody outside of the Beltway really cares. They expect that Donald Trump is going to promote Republican values.
All the rules, norms, values that have made this country great, Donald Trump will destroy them.
White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway will also speak tonight, along with Second Lady Karen Pence. She is expected to talk about military families. Main speakers will begin around 7:30 tonight. We'll have coverage of the RNC starting tonight at 9, and we'll have a recap on News 3 Now at 10 as well.
Maddie, we'll see you then. Thank you. There's more to come at 4. Is it safe to fly during this pandemic?
Consumer Reports has some tips on how to fly safely. We'll have that story when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call to enjoy non-stop routes to summer in a new Nissan.
And don't miss the 2020 Nissan Bottom Line Sales Event. Get a low $346 per month lease on Nissan Rogue.
Let's face it, dark stains and algae buildup can rapidly age a roof. But Mad City Roofing has the solution with our high-performance premium roofing systems. We're Wisconsin's #1 ranked remodeler. Get durable roofing with Scotchguard protection to prevent stains and streaks for long-lasting beauty. Lots of colors and styles available and thousands of satisfied customers.
And then we just wanted something we didn't have to worry about again. And we've seen this at Mad City or that. We thought, wow, that's the way to go.
Plus, ask about durable metal roofing options for a lifetime of maintenance freedom. And now during our Raise the Roof event, 75% off labor. Ask about 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Call during this program and receive a free $100 Amazon gift card with your free in-home estimate. Call 608-338-0590. That's 608-338-0590.
What happens now? Now that the rent's due, but they've cut your pay. Now that the virus has cost lives, but your health care costs too much. Now that our president has had months, but he still doesn't have a plan. What happens now? Joe Biden knows how to lead through a crisis because he's done it before. When our economy was on the verge of collapse, Joe Biden led the largest economic stimulus in a generation and saved millions of jobs. Now Joe Biden is ready to lead us through this crisis. He knows rebuilding our economy starts with fighting the virus, increasing testing, getting more protective gear for healthcare workers, and calling for mask mandates nationwide. As president, he'll get working families back on their feet by lowering healthcare costs and helping small businesses recover. So what happens now? We elect a president who will build back better.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Working out? Not canceled. Catching up? Not canceled. Game night? Not canceled. Nap time? Not canceled. If new carpet would make you happier at home, we're here to help with standard carpet installation of just $75. Carpet one room or your whole house. And installation is only $75 while we celebrate our 75th anniversary. Coil Carpet One Floor and Home. Locally owned and operated since 1945.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call to enjoy non-stop routes to summer in a new Nissan.
And don't miss the 2020 Nissan Bottom Line Sales Event. Get a low $273 per month lease on Nissan Sentra.
Investors on Wall Street were encouraged by positive news about a coronavirus vaccine. The Dow Industrials gained 83 points, closing at 28,331. The Nasdaq was up 198 points. The S&P 500 up 35. Both record high closings again. As more people begin to think about flying again, concerns about the transmission of COVID-19 remain high.
As Consumer Reports points out, inconsistencies in government and airline policies have caused a lot of headache since the early days of the pandemic, but there are some things you can do to make flying as safe as possible. Leah Linscheid reports.
This past June, Danny Bush boarded an American Airlines flight with high hopes that she'd fly in a safe and healthy environment.
They put out the dialogue as if they were being very safe and considerate for COVID. But when you arrive to the airport, none of those things were happening.
Once she began boarding, she was appalled to see crowded boarding areas, passengers without masks, and a jam-packed flight with middle seats filled. Her 20-year-old son had a suppressed immune system, so she takes social distancing very seriously.
I had anxiety the entire flight.
Since Danny's flight, American Airlines says it has tightened its requirements for face coverings and now prohibits anyone over the age of 2 from flying without a mask. While some airlines make mask wearing mandatory and are blocking off middle seats, Consumer Reports has found airlines' COVID precautions are all over the map.
In many cases, the policies are conflicting. So if you're flying on 2 different airlines in the same day, you may very well have 2 different sets of rules.
CR says without federal rules in place, airlines won't be held accountable for making their flights as safe as possible.
The Department of Transportation has not stepped up and has not protected consumers as we believe they should.
In the meantime, if you have to fly, here's what you can do now to keep yourself safe. Before you book, contact the airline and ask if they guarantee empty middle seats and how it strictly enforces mask wearing. Pack a go bag with extra masks, hand sanitizer, and sanitizing wipes. When you board, clean your space. Wipe down the area around you, even the air nozzle above, and blast that air from the nozzle directly onto your face for the entire flight. As for Danny Bush, she does plan to fly again this month with a different airline and hopes that more people will follow social distancing guidelines this time. For News 3 Now, this is Leah Linscheid.
One expert told Consumer Reports that the safest place on a plane is the window seat, as the filtered air comes in directly above your head.
You'll also have fewer interactions with people passing by you in the aisle. Still to come at 4, students are staying home, parents are going back to work.
We'll get some child care advice for parents looking for help coming up after Chris's First Warn forecast. We'll be right back.
Hey, you guys gonna get started? We're just waiting for the activation fee. But I already paid for the day. Yeah, and then it's $100 to activate us. Activate you? Mm-hmm. What are you, a cyborg?
It's crazy to charge people for things they already bought.
I'm gonna get my wallet.
That's why at US Cellular, we speak fair and never charge activation fees. Switch to US Cellular and get $700 off the latest smartphones with no activation fee. US Cellular. Upgrade to fair.
Dear summer, how do I make the most of you? Do I kick back and relax? Or climb new mountains? I could go and get dirty. Or switch into new lanes. One thing's for sure, it's gonna be great. Can't wait. Toyota.
Right now, you can get $1,500 customer cash on a new 2020 Highlander or Highlander Hybrid. Toyota.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? With the Pick and Save app, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sales and rewards like fuel points, all for prices that are lower than the everyday low. So go ahead, get lower than low. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Our seniors that are being hit the hardest, they're frightened. And I want them to know that their health and safety will be my responsibility if I'm your president. And I'll have from day one, ready to go, the best medical experts and scientists to advise on our response. And I will not abandon you. It's a simple proposition, folks. We're all in this together. We got to fight this together. We'll emerge from this stronger because we did it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Let's face it, dark stains and algae buildup can rapidly age a roof. But Mad City Roofing has the solution with our high-performance premium roofing systems. We're Wisconsin's #1 ranked remodeler. Get durable roofing with Scotchguard protection to prevent stains and streaks for long-lasting beauty. Lots of colors and styles available and thousands of satisfied customers.
And then we just wanted something we didn't have to worry about again. And we've seen this at Mad City that we thought, wow, that's the way to go.
Plus, ask about durable metal roofing options for a lifetime of maintenance freedom. And now during our Raise the Roof event, 75% off labor. Ask about 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Call during this program and receive a free $100 Amazon gift card with your free in-home estimate. Call 608-338-0590. That's 608-338-0590.
Take a look at this. Not since King Kong climbed the Empire State Building have New Yorkers been more interested in a gorilla, or at least a statue of one. A 4.5-ton bronze sculpture of a silverback mountain gorilla named King Nanya has been placed by the New York City Parks Department in Bella Abzug Park in the Hudson Yards neighborhood of Manhattan in New York City. The sculpture is meant to bring awareness to the endangered animals and to bring a new cultural amenity to the city amid the pandemic. The sculpture will be up for the next 9 months.
Well, it's very cool. I bet it's hard to keep the kids off it, though. It'd be fun to climb around on.
Very cool. All right, the opposite of cool. Wait a minute, it's National Dog Day. I forgot
right.
this.
How could we forget that? Dog adoptions and sales are way up due to the pandemic.
It's no secret some dog parents treat their dogs like they're human. In the Washington, D.C. area, one couple wants your dogs to eat like they're human, and they're serving it up fast food style. This food truck is for our four-legged furry friends. Wolf Bowl claims to be the first fast food style dog food truck. It's the brainchild of Ron and Solo Holloway, who started it when Solo decided to cook up healthier options for their pups. Wolf Bowl also sells dog toys, including one that looks just like their iconic truck. All the profits go to charity. And of course, we had to show you pictures of our dogs.
I think that's Olive. Which one is that? Oh, we got to have their names on here. We don't know their names.
I know those two.
We know those two.
There's the hounds.
That's Rusty and Lola.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know whose dogs these are, unfortunately.
That's Joe. That's Gary Canalte's dog. That's
Tate.
The infamous Tate,
Frankie's
stealing all the food from the kitchen table. Oh, that's a sweet one.
That's Bubba's dog, Maisie. This is a howling dog.
That's Steph Fryer's dog.
It'd have been nice to know who these dogs.
Yes, it would, and have their names on there too.
Still nice.
Oh, that's Nicole's dog.
Yeah.
Our director.
Oh man.
Oh, and there's Louie, our producer's dog. They're all beautiful dogs.
Yes, they are.
Well, the dog days of summer are certainly here. That's one thing that's for sure. We are dealing with the heat and more of it before showers of thunderstorms come our way. That forecast is next.
Now, a WISC-TV editorial with editorial director Neil Heinan.
The escalation of violence in Kenosha is terrifying, all the more so for the equally horrible sense of inevitability. The combination of broken politics, society crumbling beneath the burdens of injustice, inequality, division, anger, and guns, and a surreal public health crisis keeps pushing us to what feels like the brink. But voices of leadership are emerging, and we want to recognize that for reasons of encouragement as much as relief. It requires ignoring the constant drumbeat of blame and political opportunism. Rather, see Madison's new school superintendent, Carlton Jenkins, with State Representative Shelia Stubbs, Mayor Rhodes Conway, and former Mayor Soglin on the streets. Hear Governor Evers' necessarily measured response in support of local officials in Kenosha and community leaders like Michael Johnson, all balancing the need to protest injustice, protect those peaceful protesters, and act against the violent, racist, so-called militias seeking to take advantage of the chaos. Citizen voices must be heard, but voices of leadership are required as well.
Let's face it, dark stains and algae buildup can rapidly age a roof. But Mad City Roofing has the solution with our high-performance premium roofing systems. We're Wisconsin's #1 ranked remodeler. Get durable roofing with Scotchguard protection to prevent stains and streaks for long-lasting beauty. Lots of colors and styles available and thousands of satisfied customers.
And then we just wanted something we didn't have to worry about again. And we've seen this at Mad City that we thought, wow, that's the way to go.
Plus, ask about durable metal roofing options for a lifetime of maintenance freedom. And now during our Raise the Roof event, 75% off labor. Ask about 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Call during this program and receive a free $100 Amazon gift card with your free in-home estimate. Call 608-338-0590. That's 608-338-0590.
I like to drive. I used to think I was a pretty good driver.
But now Joe Biden's taken a sharp left turn. Buckle up for his $4 trillion tax hike. Biden's plan raises taxes on small business, reversing the recovery. He's pledged to eliminate blue-collar oil and gas jobs. And analysts estimate stocks would crash up to 25% if Biden takes the wheel, crushing your retirement.
This is just bold.
Hit the brakes on Biden. He'll wreck our economy. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Today, you can turn your home into a university, and you can turn a lasting career into reality. With Herzing University, you can earn a degree in today's hottest fields, anytime, online. Herzing is recognized, accredited, experienced, and transfer-friendly, with more than 90% student satisfaction. For a limited time, we'll waive your enrollment fee. See what your career can turn into with Herzing University. I'm possible at Herzing. Call or click today.
Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, Baca Enterprises is truly humbled and thankful to all of our employees, residents, families, and vendors for their patience and cooperation.
Our employees have gone above and beyond with sanitation efforts, altering their daily routines, all while spreading joy and happiness throughout our community.
As you look forward to the future, Beaver Dam Assisted Living will be here for you.
To provide a sense of security and to provide comfort by keeping you safe and healthy.
Together, we're moving forward to help you live life with confidence. Call today to schedule your tour.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
All eyes are on the Gulf Coast right now as hurricane warnings are in effect along with tropical storm warnings. These hurricane warnings are really confined between about Lake Charles, Louisiana, all the way to the eastern edge of the city of Houston. Then most of the city of Houston and the suburbs to the west, those are all under tropical storm warnings. And these tropical storm warnings go all the way up through parts of Louisiana, even into Arkansas. And here's the hurricane right now. Laura is a very dangerous and powerful Category 4 storm with sustained winds now at 145 miles per hour. Winds are gusting to 175 miles per hour. And just throughout today, Laura went from a Category 1 to a Category 4 within 12 hours. That's something that's known as rapid intensification. Here's how things happen as we move through tonight. This is 1:30 in the morning. Laura is expected to be a Category 4 with winds sustained at 150 miles per hour. That is just 5 miles per hour below Category 5 hurricane strength there. Winds gusting upwards of 185 miles per hour. There's no sugarcoating it. This is a very powerful hurricane getting ready to make landfall. Still, this will track northward as a tropical storm throughout parts of Arkansas. Heavy rainfall, gusty winds are expected there. Then my other home state, Kentucky, will get heavy rainfall as a tropical depression, Laura, begins to move over the state there, and then eventually this will move on out to sea. So things are certainly very hectic there as this system continues to move on in. But for us, we continue to remain relatively quiet but still active as tropical systems, or really just disturbances, come our way throughout the atmosphere. That leads us to the rain chances, but before we get there, it's going to be hot for sure. Heat indices will be up around 100 degrees again tomorrow, but not only do we have the alert day for Thursday due to the heat, we're going to be watching that strong severe thunderstorm potential Thursday night and into Friday. In fact, here's that 3-day thunderstorm outlook. Today we did have some strong thunderstorms to the north. We're still watching that, but into Thursday, again, this is primarily overnight. We're under that slight risk, level 2 out of 5 for strong, severe thunderstorms. That continues into Friday as well. We need the rain, but nonetheless, we don't want things to be too strong. In the meantime, the heat advisories continue until 7 o'clock. That's where heat indices will be up around 100 degrees for at least the next couple of hours. We still feel like 91 right now. Actual air temperatures are at about 89 for us here in Madison. But here comes the rain chance. You see the showers of thunderstorms back towards the north and west. That is what gradually begins to move our direction as we go through time. Overnight tonight, 72. We're still going to be hot as we go into your Thursday. Most of the day is dry. High temperatures are around 90, but you see those showers of thunderstorms beginning to pop up towards the north. That comes our direction Thursday night, and especially on Friday. Not a washout, but plenty of cloud cover and multiple chances to see those showers of thunderstorms. You add that all up, and some areas are talking perhaps more than an inch of rainfall. It really just depends on who gets in on repeat thunderstorms, but this would be welcome. Hopefully we just don't get too much at once in the same spot. The alert day for Thursday. By Saturday and Sunday, we feel good. Sunshine and low humidity, more chances for showers of thunderstorms next Monday and Tuesday. Another chance next Thursday and Friday. The reality is our pattern is much more active. Temperatures are cooling down closer to normal.
Oh, that'll feel good. Chris, you have family in the Houston area, don't you?
I do. My mom's in Houston, along with my sister, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. It's really a big hub for where most of my family is located.
Oh, we're wishing them all well.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. Well, they're calling, they're watching.
Okay.
You know, we've been up to date. I've been letting them know what's going on.
Oh, that's
a good son
to have a son as a meteorologist.
Yes. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Well, many parents are still trying to figure out what to do with their kids who are stuck at home this fall as they go back to work.
We've been reporting on how some local organizations are starting special childcare programs, like the YMCA, for example. A week from Tuesday, that's September 8th, the Collaborative Learning Program will be available at 7 Dane County locations to give students a place to learn while their parents are working. We're told financial assistance is available to cover the weekly $200 cost. But for some families, a program like that is not an option.
Josh Spreiter went straight to the local child care experts to find out all of the options you have this fall.
Many parents are now looking for childcare for school-aged children, something they wouldn't be thinking about without the pandemic. And in these uncertain times, that task is even tougher.
It used to be that parents would visit programs and tour them. Obviously, some of those rules and policies may have changed. And so you really want to call the program and find out how they're going about, enrolling families at this point with the pandemic.
Jody Bartnick is the executive director of Community Coordinated Childcare in Madison, otherwise known as 4C. She tells me there are options still available, but you better act fast. There's in-home family childcare, also different group settings, and some school districts are even offering programs.
We're partnering with the city of Madison to increase our referral database so that parents have more options for school-age care during the day.
When you're narrowing down your options, ask for references and talk to other parents. Also, make sure you call the regulatory agency to see if they're licensed properly and look into any compliance issues. The biggest thing here, she says, don't be afraid to ask the questions.
Programs are doing a really good job of making sure that kids are safe during the day, and so parents can talk about that with them and find out, what's going on and how to make sure that their kids are being well cared for.
Now, while childcare isn't cheap, many cities, counties, and even the state are adjusting subsidies, offering coverage for school-age children during the day.
Not all parents can stay at home to homeschool and virtual school during the pandemic, so they're really trying to figure out ways to help offset those costs.
All right, Josh, thank you for that report.
Thank you, Josh.
We'll be right back.
Ashley Home Store's Labor Day Tempur-Pedic deals start now. Pay $28 per month interest-free for 6 years on Tempur-Pedic, plus $300 in free furniture and free guaranteed delivery within 5 days on in-stock beds. Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Actually, the old roof, we were starting to have leaks in that, and it was starting to ripple up or that, so that's why we decided it was time to get a new one.
The roof on your home is one of the first things people see, so you want it to look good, and you don't want it to leak. So join thousands of satisfied customers who've called us here at Mad City Roofing. From metal roofing that looks like traditional roofing to our high-performance premium roofing systems. Now remember, they're impact resistant, stand up to high wind, and backed with the Emerald Pro Lifetime Warranty. And now during our Raise the Roof event, 75% off labor. Ask about zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 18 months. Call during this program and receive a free $100 Amazon gift card with your free in-home estimate. Call 608-338-0590. That's 608-338-0590.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is here with great offers on a huge selection, like 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. And get peace of mind with the Ford Promise. It's summer, so grab the family and head out. It's easier now during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus the peace of mind of the Ford Promise. See your local Ford dealer today.
Rocket Drive Block? Russian Pole Crush? Jam a Grand Slam? Drunk? Drunk? That'd be insane! Rolling that? Rolling this? Roll together? Drunk? That would be super insane. Hey, all you ladies and guys. Drive sober on the road. No matter how many wheels you roll.
Ashley Home Store's Labor Day sale starts now. Beat the crowds to save up to 50% off special buys and doorbusters. Plus, get a bonus 5% holiday discount at checkout. And 5-year interest-free affordability makes for low monthly payments. Online and in-store at Ashley Home Store.
Tonight at 5, protests are covering every inch of downtown, including campus now. Students say they get a first-hand look without even leaving their house, what they're seeing tonight at 5.
After a muggy night, Thursday will be hot and humid. Thunderstorms will form later tomorrow afternoon through Friday and will break the heat and humidity for the weekend. My forecast at 5.
And ahead at 6, a 17-year-old has been arrested after 2 people were shot and killed, a third injured during protests in Kenosha over the police shooting of Jacob Blake. We'll have the latest at 6.
Today is Women's Equality Day, marking 100 years since women were guaranteed the right to vote.
It was celebrated in New York with the unveiling of a new statue, the first one in Central Park, showing real women. 7 years in the making and long overdue. Famed suffragists. Thank you.
It's a tough
one too many syllables. Sojourner Truth, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and Susan B. Anthony now have a home in Central Park, memorialized in the Women's Rights Pioneers Monument. Among the attendees at today's unveiling, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and Colleen Jenkins, Stanton's great-great-granddaughter. She is vice president of the nonprofit group Monumental Women.
The bronze dome over Central Park, just like the glass ceiling over many other venues, shattered today. Did you hear it?
While men including William Shakespeare and Robert Burns have had their place, the only female representation in Central Park before today has been storybook characters like Alice in Wonderland and Mother Goose and Juliet with her Romeo. The statue was fully funded by donations. With the election just 69 days away, there is a growing effort to stop the spread of false information.
The Senate Intelligence Committee report on Russian interference in 2016 stated that no single group of Americans was targeted more than African Americans. CBS national correspondent Jerika Duncan shows us how one group is fighting back.
What is happening with our own video on this? How's it performing? Where do we actually post it?
Each morning, Andre Banks and Ashley Bryant sign into what they call the War Room to discuss the latest popular posts that are spreading false information.
You all call this a war.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you look at what happened in 2016, this is one of the biggest campaigns to misinform American voters in history. You know, when you have that level of strategy on the other side, you want to meet that with a level of strategy on this side. It's important that Black people, Latinx people are able to make their voices heard this year.
They're co-directors of Win Black Palante. Palante means to go forward in Spanish. They work with more than 200 people across 15 states, mostly swing states, to monitor memes, messages, and images across the most popular social media platforms.
As the demographics of this country change, it's critical that we are able to have a conversation across race. We're able to have democracy where all kinds of people can show up, and we can come together to make the big decisions that we need to move the country forward.
A Senate Intelligence Committee report found that more than 66% of information spread online by Russian operatives during the 2016 election contained a term related to race. One fake account called Blacktivists had 11.2 million engagements with Facebook users.
These groups are impersonating Black folks, pretending to be Black activists, and they're using the issues that matter most to us to lure them in, have them thinking that it's a sense of community, and then they ultimately say, we're not going to vote. Let's all band together and abstain from voting.
Do you think this was the difference between Hillary Clinton losing and Donald Trump winning the presidential election in 2016?
I think it definitely contributed to it. I think, you know, misinformation and disinformation campaigns writ large, and obviously, you know, Black and Latinx voters are key voting blocks within the Democratic Party.
You all say this is the modern-day poll tax for African American and Latinx voters.
The weaponization of digital media is really a large form of voter suppression, voter depression. These are attacks on our communities to misinform us, to disinform.
To counter posts that are verifiably false, Win Black Palante has created GIFs, memes, and posts that are true and factual. Their library has more than 400 million views.
What's the most recent misinformation you found that you've had to counter?
Yeah, we've been tracking very closely a range of misinformation about Senator Kamala Harris, and since her nomination on the Democratic ticket. You know, part of misinformation is not just outright lies, but really confusing and muddying the waters. In this case, we've seen a lot of the kind of birtherism that we saw around Obama.
Would you say a lot of the misinformation you're trying to counter impacts voters that are likely to vote Democrat?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you look at the last elections, you know, Black and Latinx voters are disproportionately have voted for Democrats. But if misinformation can happen to any community, then anybody can be the target of it. If it can be weaponized against Black people, it can be weaponized against women. It can be weaponized against older Americans. And so this is something that we should all feel a part of trying to stop and trying to change.
Win Black Palante says it gets its funding from individual donors across the country. Look, they said a lot of this comes down to doing your own research and also listening to the candidates. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
A lot of information out there. You got to be careful. Well, there's more to come at 4. We continue our Concerts on the Square series.
And this week we include a cello performance. That's when Live at 4 continues. We'll be right back.
I like to drive. I used to think I was a pretty good driver.
But now Joe Biden's taken a sharp left turn. Buckle up for his $4 trillion tax hike. Biden's plan raises taxes on small business, reversing the recovery. He's pledged to eliminate blue-collar oil and gas jobs. And analysts estimate stocks would crash up to 25% if Biden takes the wheel, crushing your retirement.
This is just boom.
Hit the brakes on Biden. He'll wreck our economy. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Wow, is that really me?
Here, I don't look 61 in 3 weeks. I have no wrinkles, no bags, and this is only because of Plexiderm.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I? I'm just in love with the mirror right now.
Plexiderm is a wonderful product. I look at least 10 years younger.
It's a facelift in a jar.
The people you're watching have just seen themselves in the mirror for the first time since we applied Plexiderm to their problem areas. Their reactions are real, and so are the results from using Plexiderm. What's even more amazing is that it takes less than 10 minutes. Now you can watch your under-eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet visibly disappear for just $14.95 by going to plexidermtrial.com and taking the Plexiderm 10-minute challenge.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to be in good health and to be fit and take care of yourself. How it makes you feel inside is amazing. And yet, when you look in the mirror, what you see necessarily isn't what you feel inside. Plexiderm, seriously, it fixes all that. It makes you feel as good outside as you do inside. Honest to God, it's amazing. There's nothing there. Like, the bags are gone.
This is really good. This is, I'm gonna fill my bathtub with this stuff and get the whole body this time. All these lines are gone. I feel like a new woman.
The instant results are from naturally based silicates found in shale clay. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms, rapidly reducing the appearance of under-eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. At our $14.95 price, it's the best time to try Plexiderm and see it work for yourself. So if under-eye bags make you look tired and older, take the Plexiderm 10-minute challenge today for only $14.95. Just go to plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Traffic conditions shaping up for us on your Wednesday afternoon. So far, it's what we see just about each and every day. No big issues. Slowdowns once you pass John Nolan through Southtown Drive, all the way right before you begin to get to Monona Road there. But then we're also watching the construction around Fish Hatchery. That creates delays just about every day. But so far, average speeds on the Beltline, especially throughout the western and central parts of town, they are right around 60 miles per hour. Slowdowns definitely showing up around Capitol Square. Throughout campus, things aren't too bad. Guys?
All right, Chris, thank you. The Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra performed a live concert on the square last night at Breeze Stevens Field. 25 people were allowed on the field, with the rest watching at the duck pond or streaming online or over the radio. The Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra is one of only 3 orchestras in the country performing right now. There'll be another live concert next week. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
And some of the musicians in the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra traveled many miles to perform each concert here.
Today we continue to meet the musicians that have made Madison summers so special over the years. Here's Maestro Andrew Sewell.
Alex Gooden. Alex is our most recent member of the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra, having served as section bass. He was our finalist when we had section bass auditions just a year ago. He's proven himself to be a wonderful member of the orchestra, and we're delighted that he's joining us from Chicago.
The double bass, the instrument I have here, is the largest instrument in the string family, and it's also the lowest. So, my favorite note on the double bass. Oftentimes in orchestra, you'll hear the bass playing the low and slow part, but today you get a treat. You'll hear the double bass playing a solo. Today I will be playing Giovanni Battistini's Bass Concerto No. 2. Now, Battistini was a composer in Italy during the Romantic period. He was a contemporary of Brahms, and he was not only a bassist, but a composer and a conductor as well. So this is Giovanni Battistini's Double Bass Concerto No. 2. Now, Bottesini got into playing bass in a very interesting way. At first, he played mostly clarinet and violin, but he wanted to go to the Milan Conservatory, and there were only 2 scholarships left, double bass and bassoon. I imagine without a moment's hesitation, he chose the double bass, practiced for just 4 weeks, and got the scholarship. So he switched over to playing the bass. Now, in his day, Bottesini was known as the Paganini of double bass. But I imagine that sooner or later, history will rewrite itself the correct way, and Paganini will start being known as the Giovanni Bottesini of the violin. So I first started playing bass when I was 5 years old. My older sister was in Suzuki violin lessons, and I was inspired by her studying music. What I like most about the WCO is the sense of family that I have there. I've only been playing about 1 year with the group, but already I have tons of friends, and it's wonderful to be able to make music with Maestro Sewell and such a supportive environment.
I love how much we learned in that piece.
Beautiful.
Great job, Alex. And next week, we'll meet a viola player as she performs at Yahara Place Park.
Final check of your forecast coming up.
Great decision on your new windows. Buy one, get one won't last long.
Have you always been so passionate about windows?
Felco's buy one, get one free windows is totally rad. Felco's energy-efficient windows are a must in every home. So hurry, call now.
You could say that.
Buy one window, get one free, and get no interest for 1 year.
Buy one, get one free, and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Felco.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is here with great offers on a huge selection, like 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. And get peace of mind with the Ford Promise. It's summer, so grab the family and head out. It's easier now during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus the peace of mind of the Ford Promise. See your local Ford dealer today.
Working out? Not canceled. Catching up? Not canceled. Game night? Not canceled. Nap time? Not canceled. If new carpet would make you happier at home, we're here to help with standard carpet installation of just $75. Carpet one room or your whole house. And installation is only $75 while we celebrate our 75th anniversary. Coil Carpet One Floor and Home. Locally owned and operated since 1945.
For years, iMart Express has provided you with quality eyewear and same-day service. With sights set on the path ahead, we continue to rally together to keep your future in focus. Get 2 pairs of single-vision glasses for under $40 and 2 pairs of progressives for under $80. To learn more, visit iMartExpress.com.
All right, another day of heat as we move into tomorrow. 90 degrees for that high. We're watching chances for showers and thunderstorms coming in tomorrow afternoon. Friday will be the day with the best chance of showers and thunderstorms. The weekend, beautiful.
All right, Chris, thank you. We'll be right back.